Hey guys, welcome back for another Trick Tip Tuesday, and today I'm going to be talking about shop abrasives, consumable items that you're going to use on a daily basis to be able to do sanding, grinding, cutting, that sort of thing in your shop. So basically what I have here is the stuff that I use pretty frequently, the stuff that matches the tools that I'm using, and that's all chosen based on the necessities of what I need on the projects I'm working on and that sort of thing. So for starters, for the most basic things, sanding discs. So buy these by the box, these 3-inch sanding discs that go on these roll lock pads, and basically I keep 36, 60 grit, 120 grit, and then I keep these little maroon medium and a fine grit of these kind of Scotch-Brite type pads on hand as well. And what this allows you to do here is be able to do your sanding on your work, whether you're sanding a weld down, that sort of thing, and be able to start aggressive to get get the heavier grinding done, and then work smoother to blend out your sanding into your project, and then allow you to really get that good high quality professional look when you're done, and make sure that your finish is where you want it. So that's what I use as far as the sanding discs. As far as these discs themselves, the 36, 60, and 120, these ones here have a ceramic grit, and I choose the ceramic grit on here because it holds up to heat a lot longer. The ceramic is obviously a lot more heat resistant, so as you're sanding, it keeps grinding through your material when other discs, like a zirconia alumina disc or something like that, would wear out sooner and that sort of thing. So heat is the #1 killer of abrasives, and that's why I go with the ceramic ones to, like I said, be able to prolong the disc life and do more sanding longer because of heat. So the ceramic ones here are a little more pricey, but I'm on the end of the spectrum where you get what you pay for, especially with abrasives. So if you get the nicer, a little more expensive abrasives, they last longer, they do a better job, that sort of thing in your shop. So that's the sanding disc. Next, I always keep on hand in the shop a selection of these kind of drum sanders or barrel sanders, whatever you want to call them. So these, exactly what it says, is kind of a little drum or barrel, uses an arbor. I've got one here on this grinder, and you basically loosen a little nut. These slide on, off, they're replaceable. And then here's a little arbor. They go in a little 1/4-inch sander, that sort of thing. So I also do have a big one here. This is a 2-inch drum sander. So these are great for obviously sanding inside of a radius, like inside of a pipe, inside of something where you need to get inside of a curved surface that you can't get a normal sanding disc to. These things come in handy, in that way. So I always keep these in about a 40 grit or so. Sometimes I'll get some 60 if I want to do a little more fine sanding, but typically if I'm using these, it's because I need to get some material removed inside of something, and I don't want to spend a lot of time doing it. So keep these around. Great tool to have in the shop. One of the things I like about these, as opposed to resorting to like a carbide bit, something like that, these just produce a regular kind of grinding, sanding dust from your material, as opposed to all the little sharp shards and things like that you get off of carbide bits. So there's a use for the carbide bits as well. I just like these for certain applications on that end. So, or even I like these as opposed to even like the little stone wheels you can buy as well, because these to me are a little more forgiving than a stone wheel. You can get them in a higher grit to do work faster, but they're a little more forgiving as far as not grinding into your metal as quickly if you accidentally make a mistake and hit a wrong spot, that sort of thing. So that would be that. The next, as far as sanding goes, I keep a selection of DA sanding pads, just using a 6-inch DA. So these I have 150, 220, and 400 in on these rolls. I always buy these big rolls because I can't even remember the quantity that's on them when you buy them, but there's a huge quantity of these on there, and you can just put this whole roll where you're working, tear one off when you need it, and get back to work. And I do have these that are 800 and 1200, and I have in the past bought some like 2000 or 3000 that go on a, these are sticky back for this DA, but I also have a backing pad that's kind of like the Velcro for this finer stuff. But usually I only go to the finer stuff when you're trying to really polish something out, you know, on a project or whatever. This I'll use on a variety of different sheet metal applications, especially when I'm working down on something I've welded together, metal finishing it out, giving it that really good, clean look. Make sure that it's all, you DA sand everything out, the whole area around it. You can see how smooth your surface is, that sort of thing. So I do keep all that DA stuff around. Hand pads. These are the kind of 6-inch by 9-inch hand pads. This is like a medium maroon coarseness, and then a gray ultra fine. And I like to keep both of these around just because of you know, different projects. If I'm working with aluminum, softer metals, I use the fine, the ultra fine pad, or on regular steel, I'll just use the maroon one. So from there, cutoff wheels. Cutoff wheels is a big deal because cheap cutoff wheels, you can blow through them really quickly. I spend a little bit extra on these Walter zip wheels, and these things for me tend to last a lot longer than anything else I've used. So these I use for the big grinder here, 5-inch, and like I said, these do a great job. They'll cut through a variety of different materials. These are rated for both steel and stainless. And then they do have some other applications as well in this smaller size, which is 4-inch. I use this on cutoff wheel on a die grinder. These specific wheels are actually made for cutting through aluminum. They're better for that. So however they're built up, they do a better job on aluminum. You don't get the marring or the galling from the aluminum on the disc as much as you do maybe using another disc. And I have those same ones in that 4-inch size. They're just like the bigger ones for steel and stainless. So these ones are 4-inch by 1/32 thickness on the little 4-inch ones, and the this bigger 5-inch wheel is a 0.45 thickness, so or a 3/64. So I like to go with a thinner wheel because obviously as you're cutting through metal, the thinner the blade, the less material it has to remove in order to do the cut, and so that's why I use these. So like I said, these are the Walter zip wheels. Those are a great high quality, long lasting cutoff wheel that I like to have in the shop. So a couple other things I use in the shop: wire wheels that go on a die grinder. These are great for cleaning surfaces. If you got paint or rust or anything else that you need to work around, you can clean those off, or clean it off with a wire wheel. I do use these kind of flap wheels as well. So this is a flap wheel disc on here that these work great for getting inside of projects, and they're actually a little bit softer on the surface because they do flex. You get that flex in them, so you can really put a little bit of pressure on it, and it's not going to do heavy gouging into your work. I keep these around anywhere from these 1-inch sizes all the way up to about a 3-inch size, and that's so obviously you can work inside of different sizes of material. So yeah, that's just a selection of some of the consumable items, sanding disc, cutoff wheels, that sort of thing that I use in the shop all the time when I'm working, and I like to have all this stuff around. So if you have any questions on this stuff, feel free to shoot us an email or comment on the YouTube video, and we'll get those answered for you. So yeah, thanks for watching this week's trick tip. Email us your ideas at tips@Trick-Tools.com, and we'll include them in these videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.